Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. I know it's been quite some time. This time I'm joined by the brand new Audi RS Q3 and my word, doesn't it look aggressive? It looks fantastic, really angular, really mean looking. So let's delve on in and talk more about this car. Now, I am actually, oh hello, that is a Corvette behind me. That's a lovely car. Sorry about that, I was quite distracted, as you can tell. What I was going to say is that I am filming this next to a road, so I do apologise in advance for any road noise, although there's no need to apologise for a Corvette, is there? But yeah, long story short, the car parks I normally use are rammed with people today, so I thought I'd use this spot. Anyway, that aside, onto the Audi RS Q3. So this is the first RS model I've been given for a week, and as you can imagine, I've been very excited about this car coming. There's a very good reason for that, as well as lots of reasons, but this car features a 2.5 litre 5-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, which offers no less than 400 horsepower with 480 newton meters of torque. The power is mated to all four wheels via a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. It's an automatic, of course, and this, of course, has the Quattro all-wheel drive system. I don't really know where to start with this car because, in short, it is amazing. Let's start with the exterior design. I touched upon it a few moments ago. I think this is a really handsome car. Now, you can actually have this in two different body shapes. So this is the standard car. As you can see, if I come towards the back or the side, the rear quarter, you will see it has the higher roofline. You can now have this as a sportsback model, which is more of a sporty coupe SUV. But I've got the regular car, which means I do have a slightly bigger boot, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. So this car starts from around £52,700, but the car you see in front of you has been peppered with quite a few options. In fact, this has had about £13,000 worth of options thrown at it. One of the larger options in regard to cost are these bad boys down here. So what you are looking at are carbon ceramic brakes. Yes, that's right. This once sensible family SUV has been given carbon ceramic brakes. Now, I would argue this is overkill for a car like this. Yes, I know it is an RS model, but come on, let's face it, how many people will buy this car and take it onto a racetrack? Probably not many. So these alone will cost you around £4,500. These alloys are also optional. Don't know how much they are off the top of my head. I do actually have a spec sheet in the car, so I will go through that in due course. I really like these alloys. I think they look fantastic. If you're wondering about the size, these are 21 inches. The standard alloys are 20 inches, so pretty big rims, I'm sure you'll agree. And just look at those calipers. They are massive. They're bigger than my head. Now, the standard brakes are, of course, steel, and you get 6 piston calipers. And I would imagine they work just fine, but the carbon brakes, yeah, the stopping power they have is phenomenal, enough to rip your face off. The black detailing, I really like that, but again, sadly, that is optional. But you've got the black badges. Really helps to give this car a mean, stealthy look. So big fan of that. As standard, you do get LED headlights, but I've got the Matrix LED headlights as an option. They are very bright and they're really intelligent. So when you're driving at night and the high beams are on, if a car approaches you, it will shut down some of the light units, so to speak. Probably not the best technical term. So very clever stuff indeed. It is able to adapt to your surroundings and other road users, so it doesn't dazzle them. You get privacy glass as standard. The black wing mirror caps and the black roof rails, they are also optional. To get keyless entry, which I believe is standard. To be honest, guys, it's quite difficult to keep track of what is standard. I do have the spec sheet inside the car. Now let's just have a look at the interior. As you would expect from Audi, it has been done superbly. Just look at that red honeycomb stitching. It's really, really nice. Of course, you've got the flat bottom steering wheel finished in Alcantara. Really, really sporty. So as soon as you step into this car, you know you're getting into something special. Just turn on the ignition. Got the start-stop button down there. Let's turn the climate control off. Oh, there we go. So as standard, you get dual zone climate control, but this car, as an option, has actually got the triple zone climate control. So if we come to the rear, you'll see it there as well. But yes, the inside is a really nice place to be. If I actually step inside, get out of the wind, once again, it is a little bit breezy. So the Audi virtual cockpit is standard, and my word, well, regular viewers will know exactly what I think of this system, so I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but in short, it is wonderful. I love the display, and because this is an RS model, you actually get a more bespoke display. So if I pop it into RS mode, as you can see, the display changes, but you also get extra goodies. So you may have spotted there, you have a G meter, which is going to be really vital for your commutes. You also have lap times. There we go. Lap statistics. And also an accelerator measurement. So if you wanted to time yourself doing a quarter mile, you can do so, or time how long it will take you to get to 62 miles per hour. You can do that as well. I wouldn't call these gimmicks, but what I will say is I think they're very unlikely to be used for this car, but hey, it's there if you want or need it. So let me just go back to the more boring things. I will speak about the fuel economy actually. As you can see, this car's messed with my mind. It has completely recalibrated and reset my senses. As you can see, whilst I've been driving the car today, I've been driving it for that long, wow. You can see I've been getting 21.3 mpg. Now it's worth stressing that today's drive has not really been eco-conscious, to say the least. Also as standard, you get the lovely 10.1 inch touchscreen, which has DAB radio, smartphone connectivity, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You also get navigation. I couldn't think then. So the navigation is wonderful. Actually, both of the displays are really, really crisp and pretty much pin sharp to look at. So very impressive. I've got front and rear. I wasn't expecting that. You get front and rear parking sensors, as well as a reversing camera, as you can see there, and you can also see the parking sensors there. Again, the display is pretty crisp, pretty good. Pop it back into park. Actually, speaking of park, so as I mentioned earlier, this has got a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. You can't have this car in a manual, and although I'm a die-hard manual fan, the more I've driven this car, the more I think, actually, if there were an option for a manual, and I had the money to buy this car, which I don't, I think I'd go for the S-tronic. Although what I will say is this gearbox is a little bit slow to wake up. So when the mood takes you and you want to mash the accelerator, the gearbox is a little bit slow to pick up. But there's a minor complaint. I mentioned the dual zone climate control. Well, in this case, this car has got 3-zone climate control. You've got driving modes as well. So let me just get rid of that. So you've got efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic. But if you come over here on the steering wheel, you will see there is a button marked RS mode. So within this, if I just take you back to here, you'll see, sorry, you can see my reflection, that really annoys me, but it's because it's so glossy. So this is like glass. Actually, might actually be glass, but anyway, I digress. You'll see you've got RS1 and RS2, and each one is customizable. So for example, if I wanted to have the drive in dynamic, but to have the suspension in comfortable, you can do that. And again, you can change the steering, the engine sound, the quattro. So this one, I didn't set this one up, but this one is relatively balanced, whereas I have RS2, where you will see everything is dialed up to 11. But it's good because it means you can drive this car. Let's say you want to have the engine and gearbox in the most aggressive setting, but you want to have relatively light steering and you want to have softer suspension. You can do that. Now, it is worth noting that this car, as an optional extra, has got the RS Sport Suspension Plus. Therefore, this car has got adaptive dampers. So when they work, they work alongside the driving modes. When you have it in comfort or efficiency, the dampers are more supple, but when you have it in dynamic or the RS modes, of course, it is more aggressive. Well, I suppose in the RS mode, I suppose it depends how you've configured it. Now, let's quickly go through the spec sheet. So, yeah, as I mentioned, this car has got a lot of options. It's got the comfort and sound pack, three-zone climate control, the carbon engine cover, which I will show you later, the carbon brakes in red, the RS Sport Suspension Plus, the RS Design Pack red, Matrix LED lights. Well, you can read it for yourself, guys. There's quite a lot of options there. I can't believe that you have to pay £250 for tyre pressure monitoring system. That is a little bit outrageous, if you ask me. So the car I'm sat in, there we go, £66,055. As you can imagine, getting a comfortable driving position is easy. Of course, the steering wheel adjusts for rake and reach like so, and my driver's seat is electronically adjustable, as is the front passenger seat. Let's quickly speak about practicality. I know it's not really a sexy topic, but this is an SUV. The door bins are of a good size. As you can see, got a bottle of drink in there, as well as some of my notes. Got a tray down here for wireless phone charging, which is not an option, I believe. So I'm looking at the... No, wireless phone charging is standard by the looks of it. Got a glove box which isn't massive, but you can fit a few things in there. 2 cup holders in the middle, a slot there. Another tiny dinky little slot there. And when you lift up the adjustable armrest, you'll see you've got a decent cubby hole in there. Let's pop that down. There we go. So yes, the inside is a really nice place to be. Got plenty of Alcantara and plenty of leather. I really love the red Alcantara that's contrasting the side of the seats. You do have dark roof lining, so it does feel a tad dingy in here. It would be nice to have the panoramic roof, but bear in mind that option is almost 1,200 quid. So yeah, a lot of money for a bit of glass. Oh, by the way, I love those door handles. They are a work of art. Yes, I know. Please be quiet. As part of the comfort and sound pack, I have the Bang & Olufsen system. Although, when you drive, it almost feels redundant because you just want to listen to that engine and that exhaust. This car has got the optional sports exhaust. I will give you a clip of that in a few moments. Let's step into the back. As always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am a taller chap. I must admit, I don't think I've sat in the back of this car yet. So it'd be interesting to see how I get on. Well, I have, but I was sat in the middle. So let's close the door. Now, I have to be honest, the knee room and leg room is better than I was expecting. I thought that it would be quite cramped back here. You'd have to apologise for the autofocus. It's because it's quite dark in here, and this camera does struggle with focus a little bit when it gets a little bit dark. But so, yeah, the focus is absolutely ruined, so you have to bear with me, guys. Yeah, the knee room and leg room are very good, and even better, the sides of the seat are sculpted inwards, so it just helps to give you a bit more space, although you can't see it because the autofocus has gone on strike. Now, what about the headroom? Now, the headroom, come on, autofocus, you can do it. Yay, it's back. So the headroom, you get difficult to see because I've got dark hair and you've got a black roof lining, but the headroom is pretty good. If you go for the Sportsback version, which has the more sleeker roofline, then you will of course lose some of the headroom. But Audi does predict that more people will buy the Sportsback compared to this car. I think the ratio is 60-40 in favour of the Sportsback, of course. Could you fit three adults in the back? Probably not. But if you have two adults, there will of course be a good amount of space, and there are also ISOFIX points if you're concerned about fitting child seats. Now let's speak about the practicality in the back. So you've got a door bin down here, which you can fit a bottle into. You haven't got anything in the middle. Actually, you do have, nope, I thought there was a little slot down there, but there isn't. You do get a central armrest though, for added comfort. And you even get two cup holders. Look at this. Look at that. Very handy indeed. Now, if you are a little bit claustrophobic, you may find the back of this car just a bit too dingy for your liking. It is quite spacious actually, more spacious than I was expecting, but it is quite dark. You've got the tinted windows which come as standard, and also the dark roof lining as well. So yes, it does feel a little bit, well, just a little bit dark really. Let's step out and I can show you the boot. But as standard, you get an electric tailgate. I do really love the black badges. So as always, the boot is organised chaos. It's full of my filming stuff, but I will cut to a clip where the boot is empty. Now, the interesting thing is whether you go for this car or the Sportback, the boot with the rear seats up, the capacity is exactly the same. And that is 530 litres, so it is quite a big boot. I've got pretty much all of my filming gear in here with plenty of space left over. Now, if you want even more space, you can, of course, fold down the 60, well, no, they're not 60-40, sorry, 40-20-40 seats to give you 1,525 litres. Now, if you go for the Sportback model, that isn't quite as large because of the sleeker roofline. That is 1,400 litres, so still pretty agreeable. But yes, as you can see, the boot is a decent size. There's also a 12-volt socket just down here, out of sight, underneath my camera slider. And I actually did a dump run in this car yesterday, with the rear seats down, of course, and I was able to fit in 2 rugs, a big cardboard box, a microwave, an old clothes bin, and another cardboard box. So very impressed with that. That's where this car kind of excels, because you have the performance, the pace, but you also have the space and practicality to go with it. So let's close it down like so. So I touched upon them a few moments ago, but you've got the sports exhaust. So this is another option. This is £1,000 if I'm not mistaken, and you also get black tips either side. It does look good, and I do really like this rear diffuser, but the exhausts are kind of fake. If I bring you in here, there we go, those are the real exhausts. So this here is just really for style. From a distance, it looks fine, but it's one of those things, once you know it's there, you can't unsee it. But never mind. Anyway, something you do want to see is, of course, the engine. This is where the party is. Look at that. Feast your eyes on my, well, I say my, it's mine for the time being, but this car is going back to Audi tomorrow. But feast your eyes on my carbon engine cover, which will cost you nigh on £700 if I'm not mistaken. So the engine itself is a 2.5 litre 5-cylinder turbocharged petrol, which offers 400 horsepower along with 480 newton meters of torque. Even though this car weighs around 1,700 kilograms, so it's not exactly light, despite that, this engine is able to propel this chassis to 62 miles per hour in just 4.5 seconds. That is mind-boggling. Of course, the top speed is limited to a very precise and Germanic 155 miles per hour. But if you pay Audi a bit of money, well, more specifically, £1,600, then the speed limiter can be raised to 174 miles per hour. That works out at £84.21 per extra mile per hour. I know, value. This car hasn't got the increased limiter, in case you're wondering, but let's face it, on public roads you don't need that. The standard car is plenty for the public roads. To be honest, I can't speak today. Put your teeth back in, Aaron. Now, it seems quite silly to speak about this, but fuel economy. So, on a combined run, this engine is able to offer 28.8 mpg, and in my experience, I've come relatively close to that on a range of different roads in different driving modes. I've been getting around 26 mpg, 27 at a push, which is, I think, for this kind of engine and for this type of car, that is pretty respectable. Now, sadly, to help keep emissions down, this car actually has a PPF, no, not paint protection film. This has a petrol particulate filter. It works exactly the same as a DPF, a diesel particulate filter, and its job is to trap soot and pollutants to make this car greener. So in regards to CO2 emissions, this car emits 223, not 33, 223 grams per kilometre of CO2. But if you go for the larger wheels like I have here, then of course the MPG and the emissions will change. So yes, those numbers are based on the standard 20-inch alloys. So this engine sadly doesn't have the same kind of crackles and character that it used to have, but believe me, it still sounds pretty sweet. So yeah, I think that is pretty much everything. I know I haven't gone through a lot of things in real depth, but there's a lot to speak about in this car. I didn't want to make this video too long, even though that's kind of too late because it's over 20 minutes long. So yes, I think that is a good time for me to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the car, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I will try and answer you as quickly and as effectively as I can. But if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.